I cheated on my wife and contracted an untreatable STD. What should I do? On the eve of having my first baby, if I found out my husband did something like this, I would leave and never look back. I would mourn the loss of my relationship, but I would have zero remorse for walking away. Somebody who cannot communicate to me that his sexual needs are not being met to the degree that he fucks an old girlfriend on the weekend and lies about it is not somebody I want raising my child. You're diseased now. The evidence is there. You have no choice but to tell her. If he really loves her, the STD removes all debate here. He needs to tell her. He might be able to debate, or rationalize without the STD. Would telling her hurt her? Would they still work? But you have a fucking STD. She needs to know. Man up and tell her what you did. If she leaves you, it's because she deserves better. Sorry to be blunt, but quite frankly, being faithful is one of the most important factors in an exclusive relationship like marriage. You fucked up. Regardless of how I have been married for 4 years and have been 100% faithful the entire time. Except that one time. I had a moment of weakness and, to make a long story short, had a one-time affair with an old friend from high school who lives a few hours away. I like how you have us believe this happened in fit of passion spontaneously. It wasn't spontaneous at all. You wanted the sex. You knew it was wrong, as evidenced by the fact you planned ahead enough to lie to your pregnant wife and tell. So you cheated on your pregnant wife without a condom? Good job? Don't blame his dick. All guys have dicks. He's a sociopath. Blame his brain. Yeah, this is the real head scratcher. You are stupid, your life is going to suck no matter what. I have been married for 4 years and have been 100% faithful the entire time. Wrong. I know you want to pretend that you're still a faithful person or whatever, but don't. Fess up. Also, it is a felony to give someone an STD knowingly. I agree with you, but nobody deserves an STD for immoral behavior. That's the same argument made by fundamentalists against homosexuality and HIV. Not to be too judgmental here, but how the hell can driving a few hours away for a weekend of infidelity be considered a moment of weakness? Especially considering you arranged to meet this woman and spent time warming her up to the idea. How long did that take? I'd say be honest with your wife and beg that she take you back, but it sounds like you can't even be honest with yourself, so I don't know how fruitful that would be. Tell her everything and stop being an asshole. Not to mention totally fucked up and evil. Man up? Haha. This guy has no idea what he is in for. I've been married for 6 years, have 3 kids and have never cheated on my wife. Even with that, at certain times my wife has wanted to kill me for no reason other than hormonal imbalances immediately after pregnancy. I could only imagine if I went to her and said, "Sweetie, while you were fat and feeling all insecure about your looks and sexuality, I cheated on you and now my penis will permanently look like a strawberry." Ha! I will take the role of fortune cookie. You blew it big time, beg for forgiveness. Lucky numbers 22, 28, 32, 31, 24, 40. By cheating, you've already taken steps to end your relationship. No sympathy there. You've only been married 4 years and you cheat on your wife while she's pregnant? WTF, dude? Now she's carrying a child to someone who was unfaithful to her, and she has to live with that for the rest of her life knowing that. God damn it. Come clean, you're deceiving her. Pray that she doesn't dump you. Especially if the baby gets it. There are rare cases of babies contracting STDs and dying or becoming very ill. Be honest and confess the problems you face now. 1 be as terrible when they eventually come popping out. What should I do? Clearly, ask a community of total strangers to make a completely obvious moral decision for you. Tell her, "You moron, get ready for the divorce," and hope to the God or Darwin or FSM of your choice that she is forgiving enough not to seek sole custody on the basis of your risky sexual behavior. In most jurisdictions, the fact that you cheated on your pregnant wife and contracted an STD would be enough to hand her sole custody, With maybe some supervised visitation for you. You really suck. That said, the kid is one priority right now. You will tell your wife and then proceed to do whatever the hell she wants. If that means separating, then so be it. If it means giving her control to monitor every second of your life, do it. You need to have this worked out so that there is a stable relationship, whether it is a marriage or a separated parenting partnership, before the baby arrives. Okay, look. I'm not going to be nearly as harsh as everyone else in this forum. You cheated. You're human and you suck for it, but what's done is done. You didn't come here to be lambasted for what an ass you are. You sound like you've got a pile of communication problems, seriously. If you can't call your ex and find out what it is, it may even be curable, then your ex may give it to someone else. Shying away from communication only got you in this mess, and it's going to dig you into. I told her I was working at the office for the weekend. You expect us to buy this? This story is as true as the "my girlfriend told me to beat Obama's upvotes" story. I love it how he doesn't answer anything. I guess he didn't find anybody that tells him don't worry, it will all be okay. Why the hell would you care about being judgmental to a guy who cheated on his pregnant wife? I don't really know what to tell you. I'm just really glad you have an untreatable STD. That makes me feel good, to be honest. It'd be one thing if she were a girlfriend. Entirely different that she's your wife. On top of that, she's pregnant with your child. You're a piece of shit. And now you're a piece of shit with an STD. Awesome. The fact that you felt the need to ask Reddit is ridiculous. You need to have the conversation with her, and if you don't already know this, you do not really love her. Also, you are an asshole, through and through. I'm just going to say what we are all thinking. I hope the baby is someone else's. Please don't say diseased. That's a very hurtful description for those of us who have STIs. I have an STI HPV, as I mentioned earlier in the thread. I caught it from unsafe sex with an unfaithful partner. Not everyone who gets their dick fucked up got it through immoral behavior. Sweet. I won the lottery. $200 million. To hell with you all. My STD is now a grain of sand in the never-ending beach that is my bank account. Yeah, he's not responding to any comments. I'm doubtful that he will at all. So either we have a troll, or someone that can handle the fact that nobody is being sympathetic. Either way, nothing more to see here. Move along. No need for more commentary. Every other place on the fucking earth, the person who was cheated on gets really pissed off, yells at them, and then eventually moves on. I'd love to see some citations for this. Really, if she wants to break it off with you over one lapse, I don't think she likes you that much in the first place. Way to take a ridiculous scenario and make it even more so by blaming his wife who doesn't even know yet. I love my wife and am devoted to her well-being and the well-being of our future child, but I know to her it will be a deal breaker in our marriage that I cheated. As it should be. You betrayed your wife. There is a reason Judas and Brutus were in Dante's top circle of hell. Quite frankly, you should tell your wife what you did so she can divorce you and marry someone that loves her enough not to treat her like she doesn't matter. Edit, just reread it and realize that she is actual. If you loved her enough, you would not have had that moment of weakness. I think what you feel is more of a sense of responsibility and guilt that you let her down, rather than fear of losing her or truly valuing her. I suspect that you did want to lose her on some level that you can't quite admit to yourself. She can either forgive you or not. Many people will forgive partners for one mistake, but even if she forgives, she will never forget. And if you ever do it again, she has every right to. Yup. Confess. The last thing I want is your infected ass spreading more of your ill-gotten disease to unsuspecting people. Time to be a man. Chop off your dick. If he couldn't stop his primitive self, then he should never have gotten married. He lied to himself and his wife. And now she's stuck with a child to a cheater. Awesome. Definitely. You know that she is definitely going to find out eventually, so it's best that you explain to her what happened before she finds out for herself. Be sure to tell her that it was purely for physical lust and that this girl from high school means nothing to you. You definitely fucked up and there are no promises that your wife will respect you and stay with you, but this is by far the best way of handling it. Owned, idiot, I just feel bad for your wife. I'm sure she doesn't deserve such a pig of a husband. Whatever you do, don't sleep with her as you don't want her or, more importantly due to even more severe health implications, your baby to be at risk of contracting whatever it is you caught. Well, if that's the case, they deserve each other. Believe in karma because it believes in you, laughing face. I work with infectious disease. Let me tell you something, herpes can lead to potentially fatal infections in babies. Even if it is not fatal, and a lot of cases it is, the baby will be messed up from it. It is important that women avoid contracting herpes during pregnancy because a newly acquired infection during late pregnancy poses a greater risk of transmission to the baby. Look, man up and tell her. Tell her everything and do not have sex with your wife. If you did after First, you are now not 100 faithful. Second, you get no pass for this. Man up and stop using BS euphemism. You wanted to get laid and your wife was putting out. Instead of doing what other lonely dads do and fap to vids on the internet, you decided to travel a few hours to go screw around. I wonder what you were thinking in those few hours. That said, you need to tell your wife what happened and take your medicine. Don't anticipate or expect forgiveness. You most likely want to get it. Sounds like herpes. If it is, you need to tell her and do not under any circumstances have sex. Herpes is one of the infections that is really dangerous for newborns. You could be putting your child at risk as well. I hope that you're right and my outrage was for nothing. If you loved her enough. He may love her bunches, he just loves himself a tad bit more, as all adulterers do. Has this STD caused your balls to fall off? No? Then tell her the truth. You're a bastard, deserving of no help. Monogamy is hard. But when he married that woman, he agreed and promised to be exclusive. If he didn't, there are plenty of healthy relationships that are open and swing and such. The biggest crux of this shitfest is how fucking delusional he is. Oh, I love my wife, but because I had a hard dick and my wife was unable to fuck me, due to a condition that sprang from both of our actions, I jammed my cock into some chick from high school. But hey, I'm devoted. Give me a fucking break. The killing himself is a tad harsh, but you're not much of a man. I hope he has not give this gift of shame to his pregant soon-to-be ex-wife. And as a result for the past months her sex drive has been completely nil. Wow. A few fucking months? Boo-hoo-hoo. You weak-willed piece of shit. Who lives a few hours away a moment of weakness, eh? Bullshit. This was some drunken moment of passion. You had to plan an entire weekend plus travel costs worth of cheating, you selfish bastard. I hope nothing but awful things happen to you. Geez, lots of real men on here talking about manning up. Seriously, that sort of rash overreaction is why folks avoid doing anything about STIs and end up spreading them. Right or wrong, the solution to the problem is not outrage. Okay, I did STD prevention counseling for a number of years, and I can tell you without a shred of doubt that every prevention counselor in any major city has heard many stories that go something like this. Men cheating on their partners are terribly common. Either she finds out before you give her this disease or after. She will find out, that's inevitable. Either you tell her willingly or she becomes suspicious when you refuse to have sex with her ever again. If you do choose to have sex with her again in an effort to hide what you've done, we all know that no form of protection is completely failure-proof. Then you are a scumbag who would rather infect the mother of your child than face the consequences of your own fuck-up. Either way, you seem to be assuming the OP will be a decent husband and father apart from this one indiscretion. Though you give good advice, I have doubts about whether he deserves it. For instance, for years into his relationship, he was still on good terms with his ex. Anyway, if he is actually a dick, his wife and kid might be better off without him. Also, what do you mean by suggesting a DNA test? The wife's fidelity isn't at issue here. I'm pretty sure there are other countries that will do far worse than this for cheating. Like Saudi Arabia and associated countries. Link. Well, if she believes you needed to be working at the office for the weekend, she may believe just about anything. I agree. He should go jump off a bridge. It gets so old reading these posts where men use pregnancy and lack of sex drive as an excuse for cheating. Till death do us part, or when you are growing a human in your body and can't stop puking and won't fuck me. It's bullshit. Sounds like herpes. She would want to know what you did, period. If it's an absolute deal breaker, then she feels that way for a reason. She doesn't want to be with someone who can do that, even once. So you're effectively lying about what type of person you are, and forcing your wife to be with someone she doesn't want to be with. You'll be going from a cheater and liar to being controlling and manipulative. It's cute that you don't think you'll do it again. Maybe it's even true. If you really love your wife, maybe you should reach the conclusion that she deserves somebody who doesn't need to find out the hard way that hurting her in that way is a horrible thing to do. Also, give her all your money in the divorce. You screwed her big time. They call this GG in gaming terms. Tell your wife and see a doctor. This really isn't brain surgery. Your marriage is over. Find a good attorney. You're a scumbag. You wouldn't take anyone's do the right thing advice. Why bother posting? Give it to some dude and then trick your wife into cheating on you with that guy. Sad. Which STD is it? Since you didn't have to balls to tell her directly, pandering to Reddit while you reinforce your courage, you could continue your pussy trend and tell her that apparently it's something you've had for a long time. A lot of diseases like this can lie dormant for years. I rather am partial to you doing that option because it would really lead to an interesting downward spiral of IMS, relationship advice, suicide watch, etc. As long as you don't. Okay, motherfucker, here goes. You're a total shitheel for doing this, but hey, your wife could have been a little more forthcoming with the BJs and prevented this whole situation, so I don't think you need to ruin the whole family about this. So here goes. You've got herpes. Why you can't fucking just come out and say it is beyond me. It's pretty much the only uncurable STD involving sores, so just say fucking herpes. You need to get Valtrex acyclovir whatever to get it under control. Her. And my. LOL. One lapse can lead to a lot of hurt and distrust. Not to mention the fact that their sex life would be disturbed by the fact that he contracted a disease. Have you ever been cheated on? I have, and the trust issues do not just fade away after a nice long fight. It is not a felony to give someone an STD/STI. It is a felony to fail to disclose your HIV status if you are HIV positive, and engage in behavior that could transmit HIV, e.g., unprotected sex or sharing of needles. If, however, you say I'm HIV positive and the person still wants to have unprotected sex with you, and gets HIV, i.e., you gave it to them knowingly, it is not a felony because they consented to the exposure, and the HIV positive partner disclosed his or her status. The same. Yeah, I'd imagine he'll feel pretty terrible when his newborn child gets a totally preventable by C-section case of herpes and becomes retarded. You putting the welfare of your child at risk to save your own ass. Really, cheating on your wife is one thing, but what you are potentially doing to your child is the lowest of low. Or when they come oozing out. I really like this post. What the hell did you get? Some STDs may not be curable, but all of them certainly are treatable. Tell her. More lying will make this terrible situation even worse. Protect your child and wife. Man up and tell her. If she divorces you, pay your child support on time. If she doesn't, wear a condom from this point on and don't cheat again. Edit, for the record, and I say this with absolutely no knowledge of you or your wife, but in general I don't think one instance of cheating should break up a marriage, particularly if the cheater confesses rather than being discovered. That being said, It was your mistake, and it's her call whether to forgive you or not. I must have got it from a public toilet seat. So you've always been faithful until the day when your faith is needed most. You cheated, you got an STD, man up and face the fire. Every single day after this you'll look into the caring eyes of your wife, and you'll remember what you did, and how you are going to pay for it. However, my wife is late into our first pregnancy, and as a result for the past months her sex drive has been completely nil. I had a moment of weakness and, to make a long story short, had a one-time affair while. You jerk. Apart from sleeping with someone else on the day of the wedding, that's about as low as you can get. People like you really worry me. Whatever were you thinking that made that okay? How do you cope with the guilt? Do you even feel guilty or are you just worried about G? You should sterilize yourself. Take out a big life insurance policy and accidentally die in a fucking fire. Once a cheater, always a cheater. Are you sure you contracted the STD from the ex-girl? Maybe you've had it for a while, and just never knew because it wasn't active. Sorry man, you're shit out of luck on this one. But here I made this for you. Cheer up. LOLSWORD. Whatever happened to talking to your wife about these needs you had? Your moment of weakness was not being able to communicate to your wife, tell her what's bothering you. Instead you go to a person who will just put out in a minute, and most likely made you drive to her. In hindsight I bet you wish you just turned on internet porn. Sucks to be you. Perhaps you'll learn from this mistake after you man up and tell your wife. Advice? Come clean. Tell her exactly what happened, and let the cards fall where they may. It's going to suck, you're probably going to get a divorce, but you can't hide it, and you shouldn't if you've honestly had a change of heart. Great story. Got any about kitty cats? Well, you now have herpes, it's okay, you can just say it. Man up and tell your wife the truth. She may decide to end the relationship, and you may have to deal with that. But telling the truth is better than lying, because if you feel like shit now you'll feel 100 more like shit every time you lie to her. And you may give her herpes. If you're upfront with her, chances are greater that you can undergo treatment and other precautions to reduce the chance of spreading genital herpes to her. You need to tell the old friend. She could be spreading the disease to someone else. Jesus Christ. Everyone yelling die in a fire, you scumfuck needs to calm the hell down. He did something wrong, yeah, but damn ya LL, it's not like he killed your cat here. You can't hide something like that. Karma SA bitch, and now you have to suffer the consequences for what you did, meaning that your wife will probably leave you and no one will want to make love to you again. Harsh bro. I hope your junk falls right off. Your wife is pregnant with your child. You're married to her, and you had a fucking moment of weakness? I hope she divorces you and gets your whole fucking life savings plus child support plus all your property. Yeah, but that would have been easier than setting up the affair, planning it and lying to her he will work over the weekend and then driving hours to fuck this other woman spontaneously. Your wife is most likely human too, and if she realizes this she will forgive you purely because she is insightful enough to see that one day she may also need forgiveness. I am not saying she'll cheat on you, but as you get older and less potent, and she has her body back after kids and has a strong sex drive. Also, I just don't get this story tbh. Women are so hot and horny when they are pregnant. Especially the second trimester, but also the third. Why was there a problem tapping that PR? Not telling her would endanger this child. If the mother contracts it now, since she is far along, the consequences for the unborn baby can be and most likely will be fatal. Best case scenario? The kid gets seriously fucked up. He needs to tell her now, and I pray, and I mean really pray, he didn't touch her after he fucked the other woman. Bullshit. That's just an excuse for him to be a coward. She needs this time to prepare to take care of that baby on her own if she dumps him. And if she wants to work it out, how long it takes him to tell her will be a factor. This is pussy shit advice. If he has sex with her, the child could die since she is late into pregnancy. The best outcome would be the child would just be seriously fucked up, but a lot of kids die. He needs to tell her. When I am seriously horny, if my husband refuses for months to give it up, I know I would be very suspicious and accuse him of cheating. Oh wait, maybe that is the best option for him. So you cheated on your pregnant wife without a condom? He probably did, but you still can catch almost any STD while still using a condom properly. The exception is HIV, as long as the condom is used properly and does not tear. I wonder if his old GF is preggo as well. 'Cause that SA double win. It is a felony to give someone an STD knowingly. Whereas karma not when you need him. Ding! The sound of my upvote. You called it. Upvoted for pragmatism, instead of senselessly shouting at the moral outrage with the self-righteous crowd. You should watch out for yourself. In the words of the Buddha, on those who commit unthinkable acts, our minds will be unaffected and we will say no evil words. We will remain sympathetic, with a mind of goodwill, and with no inner hate. We will keep pervading these people with an awareness imbued with goodwill, and beginning with them, we will keep pervading the all-encompassing world with an awareness imbued with goodwill, abundant, expansive, immeasurable, free from hostility, free from future. Bet you'll cheat again. You seem to have made yourself pretty comfortable with it. 1. Give it to your wife. 2. Blame she gave it to you. Karma sa bitch, sometimes ain't it? Don't cheat again, and make sure to get DNA tests for the baby to make sure it's yours. That would go down well. Hey honey, I fucked a girl and got herpes, and I'm gonna need a DNA test to prove that kid inside you is mine. You fucked up. You did the right thing. Half kudos for you, and I hope the OP takes your advice. Douchebag. You really couldn't handle 9 months? I've been dating my Catholic fiancé for 5 years. Sure, it's terrible, but nothing that someone with a little self-control can't deal with. If you had made your wife aware of your severe need to get some loving, she would have happily obliged. Now you have to live with 2 albatrosses, being a cheating fuck, and a cheating fuck who got herpes. Great job, man. I am sure it doesn't need to be said, but how stupid and bastardly of you. I can't believe you didn't use a condom. You really should make both women aware of the STD, for their own safety. You will have to deal with the repercussions, but you deserve them. I really hope this is not a true story. You're fucked. Get some balls, fess up and face the music. Wow. You're such a douchebag, I can't even find words. You're actually considering just leaving it until she notices? What if she doesn't notice? You just gonna keep your gob shut, do the deed and infect her? You need to seriously get your head in line and tell her what you did and take whatever comes your way. This is your doing. From your description, it was premeditated too. Think about how this is going to sound. I lied to you so that I could go get with some chick I used to know and pee. Tell her, dude. Link. Not cheat on your wife. I have no advice, but your story makes me realize the repercussions that cheating has. I now know how not to ruin everything I had by cheating. The OP really didn't set a particularly high bar on the holier-than-thou standard. He cheated on his pregnant wife, didn't use protection, caught an STD, and is only contemplating telling her because he has got no chance of it going unnoticed. If you haven't cheated, you beat the OP hands down. If you've cheated, but confess voluntarily, you beat the OP by a margin. And this is even before the OPS decided how to handle this situation. Do not have sex with her. Troll alert. So you haven't been 100 faithful. You are a sick person and deserve no sympathy for what you did. Be fair to your wife and tell her. She should leave you. You don't deserve her. Tell her immediately. Well, it's what you wanted. You wanted to get fucked? Guess what? Now you are. You may not read this, but I hope you do. The bottom line is you did something that was wrong, and knew it was wrong before the job was even done. You need to be straight out honest about it, especially since you contracted a lifelong untreatable STD. Even if you didn't contract anything, the guilt would haunt you for the rest of your life. Chances are she won't want to leave you just because of the child on the way, but you do realize this will change your relationship forever? Now that I truly believe in the principle of owning your own shit. It will be difficult, it may even end your marriage, but the fact remains you are responsible for your own actions. This is the time to do the right thing. And just because I am on a roll with all these cliches, you shouldn't do the crime if you're not willing to do the time. This thread has done a lot to confirm my suspicions about Reddit having gotten seriously on the nose. I have put up with too many lame self-threads and AMA threads. Man, you kids offering tips on cunnilingus FS. It's gone beyond a joke. This place is overrun with bright, young, oh so young, fucktards for whom everything is black and white. This guy has got himself in a spot, no doubt. But the level of vilification and nastiness he is copping is ridiculous. It's clear that all these you are not a piece of shit or any of the other nasty things all these Reddit wankers have called you. In your post you talk about your own faithfulness, but you never mention whether you have ever been cheated on. I'm going to go ahead and guess that you haven't. If you had, you would absolutely agree that the OP is, in fact, a huge douche that deserves everything he gets. Please kill yourself. Tell her. What you did is bad enough. Not telling her will double it. Seriously, instead of cheating, maybe you should work on your sex life with your wife. Nice one, dickhead. Moral foundation is an easy concept to speak, however, your actions need to match your words. This is the essence of being a man. You may judge yourself on intentions, the world will judge you on your actions. I have had a few opportunities to cheat on my wife during business trips away from home. However, I knew I would be plagued by guilt for the balance of my married life. Once you are married, your life begins to drastically change. Having children just makes the evolution to adulthood. You have to tell her about the herpes. But you don't have to tell her about the cheating. Herpes is one of those diseases where you can have it for a long time but not know. Generally, most people don't notice their first outbreak of herpes because it's only one small sore, or there's no symptoms at all. Also, when herpes is asymptomatic, you're much less likely to pass it on, which would explain why your wife is currently herpesless. It's perfectly possible for you to have contracted I don't see why calling you a bastard is needed, and no one is being all that helpful, so first of all let me shine a ray of hope at you by saying that my father had an affair with the same woman twice and my parents are still together and love each other. One thing that I think helped is that he gave my mom access to all their email conversations to show her that it wasn't all that bad, and to regain some lost trust by being totally open and honest about everything that was said and done. Except giving her the STD at this stage could kill the child, but no profit. I seriously weep at how fucking stupid most people are when it comes to infectious diseases. Then maybe he can blame her for it if that doesn't work. I mean, as long as he's lying to her and being a giant fuck. Some countries, such as the Philippines, divorce is illegal. Although I suppose cheating could be grounds for getting a marriage annulled? Fucking A, man up is right. Quit being a complete pussy and tell her. You know what's going to happen, you subconsciously planned it. Finally, a proper response. Some people are wishing death on the guy. Well said, sir. Divorce is a terrible thing, even though 50 of the marriages end that way. There is some merit to avoiding it. A, you are financially destroyed. B, if the kid gets to know what you did, her life may be beset with various daddy issues. C, after all the discomforts with pregnancy, this will be a terrible blow to your wife if you tell her. If you can be cured, you should consider sparing your family the dissolution. If the STI is incurable, you have no choice. If the STI is curable and I don't understand how a cheater can turn around and say they're 100 into their marriage and want it to work. Finally, someone is talking reason. It's south pretty close. Just so you know, you are your. Aside from that, Carry on and well done, sir. How bad is this STD? Obviously not treatable, but seems to me you're shit out of luck. Give the gift that keeps on giving? You should have stayed home and fapped. Or used a condom with your friend. Face the music, motherfucker. It's interesting how people have such a hatred for a disease that's largely innocuous. I mean, what does herpes really do to you? You have sores sometimes and nothing. The social stigma of HPV and herpes are synthetic products of sexual fear-mongering through public schooling. Having bad reactions to either is akin to having a bad reaction to any virus like the flu or a cold strain. So how long have you had them, and how did you get them? Hate to play devil's advocate, not sure if someone has already suggested this, but many STDs can go undetected for years before showing symptoms. You may have been able to technically have contracted it 4 years ago? Or be shamed by overwhelmingly critical posts, or a troll. Either way, not responding at all to anything. You should immediately troll Reddit. I'm not saying you deserve it, or whatever moralistic interpretation people want to put on the universe. It happened. Now what? Learn everything there is to know about your STD. Herpes sounds like. That's a much bigger deal breaker than cheating, for most people. Not me. You cheat on me, fuck you. However, herpes is one of the more manageable STDs in terms that it doesn't fuck your body systems. If you both want to make it work, it can happen, there is hope. But you gotta come clean with. Worst case scenario, she goes on the computer and checks out the history. She reads this post and finds out before you tell her. Fatality. Give it to her and say, who else will ever want you now? Then have a happy life together. Sadly, my roommate has done things along those lines to women. The chorus of this song is for you. Cheating is wrong. You need to tell your wife what you've done. I'm sorry you caught one of Mother Earth's fuck punishments. All I'm going to say is this: your pregnant wife, who probably has hormones going apeshit in her body, most likely spent the last few weeks puking her guts out, blowing up like a cow, and trying to stay awake long enough to kiss your sorry ass goodnight. I'm sure the last thing she wants to do is fuck your pathetic ass. Do you really think that growing another human in your body is an excuse? You're a selfish piece of shit, and I really wish the disease you got was AIDS. I personally don't have. Keep in mind that herpes can be fatal for infants. It's way more serious because of their underdeveloped immune system. Please be careful here, man. This is pretty much worst case scenario. Fess up, you don't have a choice. Tell her. Do it before you screw up her sexual future forever. You've already screwed up yours. Now it's time to stop the same from happening to those you love. You must tell your wife about it. It's not just about morals now. If you have an STD, there are no other options. It may fuck up your marriage, but I assure you that it's better than carrying around the guilt, and an STD, a physical reminder of your guilt. Also, I despise cheaters. Once a cheater, always a cheater. Downvote me to hell, but I've seen it happen to me and others. I can't understand it. There is a lot of incinerating going on in this thread. I read about halfway down and have trouble juggling facts with truth. I searched for the OP's name, and he posted the thread and said nothing else. Yet somehow everyone knows which disease he has and how he fucked without a condom. Stop gossiping. I'm sorry for you, remorseful cheat. You're going to be feeling this for the rest of your life. You messed up big time. Tell your wife. Whatever she decides, live with it and forgive. Enjoy paying child support. I would highly recommend not telling her until after she has recovered from the pregnancy. You don't want to run the risk of this news causing a miscarriage or stress her out further right after the baby is born. Also, as others have said, don't have sex while she is pregnant because you could be putting your child at tremendous risk. In one selfish act, you fucked yourself, your wife, and your baby. Must feel great. I would just cut my pecker off. You have something that may put your unborn child at risk. You have to tell her and take precautions. If you have herpes and she gets it, you know what might happen to the fetus, to the newborn? Okay, research it, freak out, and man up. Also, go see a doctor and tell them about your pregnant wife. A whole world of internet porn to JO2, and you have to go find an ex? Can you be more specific which STD STI she gave you? We are assuming you didn't use any protection when you cheated? You might want to fess up. She will find out. There is a very good chance that other women will spill the story before you have a chance to. Before you jump to conclusions, contact that other woman. Talk to her. You need to in fact establish if it was her that gave it to you. I know you think your wife isn't interested in sex because of the pregnancy, but there are If you truly love your wife and child, you have to tell her what happened after she has the baby. You also need to tell your one-time mistress. It's not fair that she didn't tell you about her STD, but isn't it fair that she is aware so she won't turn other men into statistics? A slip-up is something that can be buried for so long, and STD is a lifetime. The longer you wait to tell your mistress and your wife, the more it will take a huge toll on your marriage and conscience if it hasn't already. Go fuck yourself and don't give your wife your baby an STD. Is she still preggers? I don't feel like rereading your bullshit. Oh, and also, which STD? Okie dokie pokey here STDalio. You got the herpes and it's icky and you messed up. It ain't gonna be good for a while, but there are a few things you should be on the UPS about. It is possible that you will never transfer it to her. It won't be easy to not transfer it to her for a couple of years. Outbreaks of this type tend to get less and less severe and occur less and less often over time. A long fucking time. Until you've had your third or fourth outbreak, you won TK. Upvoted for MO Faki. A little off topic, but how the hell does a submission with a whopping 464 comments only have 20 upvotes? Right now, Reddit says 107 upvotes and 87 downvotes. If it's interesting enough to generate this much discussion, then it's interesting enough to hit the front page. Or are people misguidedly downvoting this as their way of showing disapproval of what this guy did? You're fucked. Karma's a bitch, huh? Honesty is the best policy. You need to deal with the person who subverted your trust harshly. An ass kicking followed by an in-person death threat accompanied with a firearm usually will do the trick. People are reluctant to report these kinds of events due to the traumatic nature it inflicts on their emotions. Tell your wife. Seek treatment and ways to mitigate your chances of spreading it to your wife. Chances are, after everything, you will remain with your wife. Accept the fact that you're an asshole, own up to what you have done, and expect absolutely no sympathy from anyone who you tell this story to. It's bad enough to be cheating prick. It's worse to be one that isn't even careful. You fucked up bad. I can't get past you not using protection. That is the only part of this that warrants comment. You fucked up, now go tell her the truth. If you love her, she deserves that much. You know what you need to do. Stop wasting everyone's time and be a man. You're screwed. Ask for forgiveness, and hope for the best but plan for the worst. Then get a really good attorney because she is going to fuck you up and take your kid. Tell her. Wait, first get a good lawyer, then tell her. It cures the AIDS. Cries for having read that article. In a few months you will be here on Ask Reddit asking why your girlfriend cheated on you and what our favorite sad song recommendations are. I think the issue here is that if your wife is growing a fucking human being inside her, show some restraint and compassion. No. It is kind of ironic, the bad karma you just imposed on yourself with a comment like that. Probably the best advice here. My view of you still remains as that of a piece of shit, but you can't be that much of a piece of shit to ruin her life further by being selfish and saving yourself from the guilt. Act like you don't know what happened and mention to her that you got weird bumps, and have her go to the doctor with you. Treat it as if you didn't know. It should have just been from a past relationship. If you really feel you have fucked up, this is the only way to go about. There's a lot of holier than thou shit going down in here, and I think you guys are hilarious. People get real uppity when shit like this goes down, and I just want to say that I know some of you motherfuckers are full of shit. Beat your head on the floor until forgiven. Only trash have problems like this. Adopt a religion and be born again so that you could explain it to your unborn child eye to eye. Oh, and lose half, do not pass go, do not collect $200. Sorry, no sympathy for you, bud. Should he fess up now or wait till after the child is born? I mean, I fully agree that he must man up, but I'm pretty sure that this sort of news could very easily endanger the health of the mother and the unborn child. Ionad. Do you really need to ask? The only thing you can do is tell her and suffer the consequences. Bad choice, man. That said, I'm not saying it couldn't have happened to me. Find a good divorce lawyer. No advice. Sorry. Poor kid. Would exposing your wife to the STD while she is pregnant have any effect on baby's health? Something to think about. Also, I think you should tell her. I am sure I am going to get blasted, here goes. I have been in your situation, minus the STD, so hopefully this is an insight on how it will fall out. Yes, once a cheater, always a cheater, it will happen again. Your brain will think back, in time, at the fun and excitement you had of someone chasing you and the feeling you had of someone new in bed. I am not sure if you are looking for someone to tell you to get out of it or how to tell your wife. How to tell your wife there is no good. I'm pretty sure you just sleep with a virgin and the STD will go away. In truth, though, you need to tell her. Honesty is the best policy. Add other cliches about relationships. Do the right thing.